a day to recognize Trinidad's independence from colonial rule. And to stand here on the 62nd anniversary, it is a testament to the country's fortitude to continue to go forward despite anything, any challenges. So it's an honor to actually be here. And what we look forward to is to actually see a parade giving thanks to Her Excellency and the office itself.
It's really interesting. Sometimes there's so many things that are happening, so many things that are less than ideal.
Yes.
Sometimes we kind of forget to take that moment to say, yes, we are blessed, we are here,
Yes.
we have gone through so much. 62 is young by any stretch of the imagination.
Yes.
But there's so many things that we have that we are to be grateful for.
Yes.
And we are, as the morning progresses, and you're going to be taking us through an idea of the sequence of events.
That is correct.
Right now, we've already started to see the arrival of some of these dignitaries.
Yes.
Who are some of the others that we will be looking forward to see in attendance this morning?
So the next person to arrive, you'll be seeing the Chief Justice. You will also be seeing the arrival of the Prime Minister, and you'll see the arrival of Her Excellency. From here, what I want to make mention of is the fact that this is the height of protocol. It is the height of standard and showing what our country has from day one to today. And I'm just looking forward to actually seeing that happen.
And I spoke of energy and the feeling that I got just from standing next to you when the colors were coming onto the parade ground. What does it mean for the men and women, volunteers, contingents, detachments who have been selected to be part of this parade this morning?
It's a sense of pride. You're not going to have another 62nd anniversary parade. So you are here, your name is written in the history books from today onward, that you are a member serving and volunteering to celebrate the country in one of the best forms. I mean, even in the way that the military dresses, we are in our number one dress. It's the highest form of dress that any person can actually wear. Her Excellency's ensign is actually uncased and on parade. Those things give you a sense of pride. So I believe that's one of the things that we will carry on from today, those who are serving.
And I think 2 years ago we had the first time that we would have had scouts be a part of the parade. I think there's a new detachment this year as well.
Yes.
But even before you get that, we are having the arrival of the Chief Justice as well as Mrs. Archie, Mrs. Denise Rodriguez Archie. They are arrival.
Yes.
They will be met by the Minister of National Security and the Chief of Protocol of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
And you mentioned that word of protocol, and you said it's the height of protocol. So we're just looking at how these things are unfolding.
Yes.
Because even if the spectators who would have gotten the program, even those instructions, spectators are required to stand when the consecrated colours and flags are paraded, and the arrival and departure of Her Excellency, as well as the gentleman, the arrival and departure of the Prime Minister, and it goes down saying, okay, well, this is when we want you to do this.
Yes.
At this point in time, this is when we want you to do this. Because even there's been a change with the way that people are able to access the grandstand as well. So even that, I think, has increased the levels of protocol for the morning's event.
I mean, we have many different forms of protocol, but today we are seeing ceremonial protocol. And that in of itself, with the arrival of the most senior office holders, there's a certain way that they must be greeted. There's a certain process to the actual execution of welcoming them. So this is a good day, and if permit me just to explain to the viewing public what ceremonial protocol is. So it's actually a process by which order and hierarchy is maintained within the governance structure. It manages the international view of Trinidad and Tobago and maintains relationships with other countries through the protection through the protection and application of respect owed to office holders. And this is actually what we're seeing here today.
I think it's even something that we can take a little more into our daily lives. I think sometimes we have things bleeding into each other.
Yes.
And looking at a level of respect for positions and offices
Yes.
while going about our daily routine. I think
Yes.
it's something that we can also try to incorporate a little more into our daily lifestyle.
Yes.
And the purpose of this training is to give mental or physical training to boys and girls using the medium of training.
So in terms of who do we have on the parade ground already, Lieutenant?
So we currently have the parade commander. He is currently on the ground. We await the arrival of the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, and then we await the arrival of the First Gentleman. Once that happens, Her Excellency will be in a special vehicle. The parade commander will come forward and then welcome her to the parade, and then request her approval to actually conduct an inspection. This also, if we read back to the drill manuals that were written in the United Kingdom, the drill manuals actually state that before a parade actually happens, there must be an inspection. And that in of itself is another form of protocol.
One of the things I appreciate is the attention to detail, especially when you have members of the essential services. There were drills that would have taken place before, so you have an idea of how long a maneuver will take, how long certain other activities will take, and this is to the second.
Yes.
So when people talk about military time, I think it's a little more precise. You know, sometimes people want to talk about, well, it's Trinidad time or Trinbago time, but I think that doesn't hold any water at this point.
No, it doesn't. I had this trainer, he left as a warrant officer class 1. He said 3 things. The time is the time all the time. The time is not the time after the time. And if you're late, you're early for tomorrow. so the issue of being on time, it goes beyond just meeting a certain minute or second. It's actually, it can save lives, and the whole process of being on time keeps us safe from many aspects. If you're in logistics and you have to drop off something to troops at a particular point in time, if you miss the time, they go hungry. You know, if you miss your target, you fail the mission. So being on time is very, very key in the military.
So we're seeing one flag, on the parade ground at this point in time, we're seeing 2 flagpoles. We see one with the flag of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
What flag is going to be unfurled?
That would be Her Excellency's ensign.
And even going back to protocol and procedures, when do we expect that to be unfurled?
Once Her Excellency is in space, and in space meaning at the location in the area.
There was particular risk management over those 62 years, those senior military officers who were commanding the parade.
We spoke about drills before.
Yes.
But how many drills would have taken place with these contingents and detachments specific to the parade this morning?
So we would have had 3 rehearsals. The first one was on Monday the 26th. The second one was on Tuesday. And the final one was on Thursday. That was the dress rehearsal. The dress rehearsal is conducted in a way that mimics the actual parade. The first and the second parade rehearsals will iron out the kinks, you know, make sure that persons who haven't done drill in a while, we are aware of any of the issues that we need to fix. If we need to work on personal drill for the persons who are carrying the colors, this may be the first time doing it. So they need to make sure that they stand and carry themselves in a way that represents the military and represents what drill is.
And coming around the savannah on those days in question, especially for the last one,
Yes.
we'd have realized, okay, what's happening? What's happening? Oh, okay, rehearsal for Independence Day Parade.
That is correct. Don't you feel a sense of pride when you see those things happening? Even though it may be an inconvenience around the savannah. I feel a sense of pride when I see this display of military might as well as a celebration.
And also it kind of drives the point home that, okay, we expect a certain level of execution.
Yes.
Because it is not, the surprises have been kind of taken out of the equation because you've gone through this process. Like you said, working out the kinks and then looking and see how everything is supposed to look with the dress rehearsal on the last one.
Yes.
Government wished to stage this Independence Day Parade 2024.
But I asked about the feeling, and you answered it talking about a sense of pride being able to be part of the contingent and detachments. What does it mean to be in charge of the entire parade in terms of on the parade ground? How does someone work towards that? And is there a certain level of experience, service? And I can imagine that the pride is multiplied so many times.
Well, it's all of the above. If you look at the major parade appointments, so for the parade commander has more than 20 years service. The parade sergeant major, more than 20 years service. And with service, it brings experience. So they are fully aware of what, and it's not their first parade as well. So it brings a sense of pride and joy to actually conduct a parade where you call the word of command, you bring the troops to attention, the parade sergeant major walks around, makes sure that everyone is doing well. That's the whole beauty of the day for the particular appointments.
And I know different people have different parts that they look forward to specifically. Some people like the drive-by, the pass-by, the inspection.
Yes.
Some people look at the different vehicles from services.
Right.
Who would put a little, not necessarily bragging rights, but a little fanciness on some
Yes.
of those vehicles.
Yes.
Because yes, they're the service vehicles, but then there are some that are a little more vintage,
Right.
for want of a better term.
Yeah.
And they look a sort of way, and you see the level of pride that is taken in their upkeep.
Yes.
And saying, okay, well, who is almost as though who has bragging rights for a year?
Right.
Because mine look better than yours. So with that in mind, what do you have a favorite part?
My favorite part, and this is not the politically correct answer, but the truth is, my favorite part is the entire parade, but more so the route march. The most beautiful thing that I have experienced while on parade is seeing young children look at you and say, "A soldier," and wave. Those things are really, really exceptional.
Of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. the Honorable E. Christopher Rowley and Mrs. Sharon Rowley.
Ceremonial protocol continues.
Yes.
Spectators and those in attendance have been asked to stand for the arrival of our Prime Minister and Mrs. Rowley, Mrs. Sharon Rowley. And we hear a show of appreciation.
Please be seated.
And just making the point that the order that we see the dignitaries arriving in,
Yes.
that order will be reversed
Yes, it would.
when they are exiting the parade ground.
That is correct.
There we have another shot of the Prime Minister and Mrs. Rowley, his wife. Seeing some of the ministers who are in attendance as well for the commemoration or the parade marking our 62nd independence anniversary.
The first gentleman of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, His Excellency Kerwin Garcia, SC, spouse of Her Excellency, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
And it seems we are moving along at pace.
That's correct. And if you look at the order at which the office holders have arrived, it's the top three, back to protocol, is the top three in the table of precedence. So the Chief Justice, the Prime Minister, and then followed by the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Here we have the first gentleman greeted by the Minister of National Security being ushered onto the dais.
Please be seated.
And it's really something, even looking at the way that you'd have outriders. And this is actually a site that we haven't necessarily seen for a bit. So while we have ministers of government in attendance, we're also seeing members of the opposition.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that because it looks as though it's something that is bipartisan. But on our screen now, what are we seeing, Lieutenant?
You are currently seeing Her Excellency coming to the parade, and this is she's followed and in the front and in the rear with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service mounted branch.
And we're very happy to bring this side to you because this is an addition to the broadcast that we have not had. So very glad that you're able to see it at this point in time. Just looking and seeing, because normally we see when they're just entering the parade ground.
That is correct.
So we're grateful for this added facet of the event, bringing it in a holistic manner.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of Her Excellency Christine Carla Kangaloo, ORTT, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces.
As you can see, Her Excellency's ensign has now been in Cape, and it's flying now. From here, you will receive, Her Excellency will receive, once she comes in, a presidential salute, and then the national anthem.
And she makes her way between both of these flags that we would have spoken about.
Yes. Presidential salute is now going to be given with the national anthem.
Please be seated.
So here we have a shot of what you were describing in terms
Yes.
of the president arriving
Yes.
and her ensign being unfurled. So while the mounted branch is moving off, what is going to take place now?
Yes. So the parade commander will invite Her Excellency to inspect the parade. So just some information for the viewers online. The parade, below are laid out some of the guidelines for parades. A parade should start with an inspection of all who are on it. A strict observance of rank should be shown. Thus, an officer or soldier, when he wishes to either join or leave a parade, should report to the senior rank. No one will be leaving this parade. Soldiers or anyone on parade should not walk across a parade ground or when drill in which they have no part is taking place. And that's why we have our protective services encased so that no one can walk in or out. And the purpose of a parade should be planned beforehand by those who are to command it. So the clear planning process actually happened weeks before so that things can run smoothly today.
Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Her Excellency was born in the city of San Fernando and received her early education there, after which she pursued tertiary education and graduated from the University of the Cities. Her Excellency was admitted to practice law in 1985. She commenced her parliamentary service in 2001 as a senator and was subsequently appointed Vice President of the Senate in August 2002. In the year 2015, Her Excellency was elected to the position of President of the Senate and served continuously until January 2023. Prior to Her Excellency's election to the office of President in March 2023, Her Excellency acted that position on 33 occasions. On 33 occasions.
Her Excellency is accompanied by the Chief of Defense Staff, Air Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel, and Her Excellency's aide-de-camp, Major Nigel Paris. The Chief of Defense Staff, Air Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel, is a second-generation career military officer and is the first individual in the history of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force to hold the rank of Air Vice Marshal. Air Vice Marshal Daniel is a graduate of the Britannia Royal Naval College, Dartmouth, England, and has served well as the commanding officer of both the Coast Guard and Air Guard.
The Independence Day Parade is an ideal occasion for us to reflect on our individuals who have served as heads of state and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. They would have presided over this parade at different periods throughout the 62 years. Reference was made to Sir Solomon Choi, Governor General and representative of Her Majesty the Queen. He was followed by Sir Ellis Clark, and then Mr. Justice Nur Hassan Ali.
And as Her Excellency continues inspecting the parade, we see some bystanders to the far end of the parade, waving, showing their appreciation for Her Excellency. And just imagining the memories that are being made at this point in time that people will take through the course of their lifetime.
Justice Paula May Weeks.
Couldn't agree more.
All of them commanders-in-chief.
I just had a moment listening to the short bio of the Chief of Defense Staff, hearing that it's the first time that we have had someone holding the title of Air Vice Marshal, and I can imagine while he's beaming on the inside, his face becoming a little more stern on the outside, making sure that none of that comes through, affecting his demeanor and the role, functions, and duties that he has this morning and he's executing.
The Chief of Defense Staff
Excellency was
is a
escorted
consummate
by the
professional,
Trinidad and
so
Tobago
he will
Police
do what he has
Service
to do
Mounted Branch.
at the point in time.
The escort comprises of 16 horses with officers dressed in ceremonial attire, lances, and blue and white pennants. The escort is divided into sections as follows. 1. The advance guard. 2. The 1st Division. 3. The standard bearer remains on horseback in front of you. First and second in command, they ride alongside the vehicle. The bugler, who also remains in front, the 2nd Division, and the rear guard. Now, it is important to note that on August the 15th, 2024, marked the 173rd anniversary of the Mounted Branch. Today, history was created because never before has a female officer been in charge of the presidential escort. So leading the troops of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Mounted Branch is Assistant Superintendent of Police Renee Bin Keller, mounted on police horse named Hannibal.
Indeed, our female counterparts are making great strides with the uniformed services. It was 10 years ago that Lieutenant Commander Kellyanne Bourne, she was then, became the first female officer to participate in this parade on horseback. And do remember, ladies and gentlemen, that last year we had Captain Campbell Harris as the first female parade commander. In the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we have also seen the emergence of a female commissioner and 2 deputy commissioners.
So, as Her Excellency is coming back to the salute in the eyes, the parade commander will ask for permission to carry on and to proceed with the parade. From here, you will see the march pass.
This is what some people look forward to as well.
This is the highlight of the event.
Even shifting from where they are standing now, and there's a term called assuming close order.
That is correct, yes. So in close order, the troops are, they're actually in threes, so in three ranks, and they come together, and then in that way they can drill a lot closer. And that's what makes the drill so beautiful, that from a side, it's executed very, very, very sharply.
So these things, the attention to detail, the work that has gone into the executions that we are going to see,
yes.
The level of pride. There are some people who prefer, they're looking forward to seeing the K9 branch.
Yes.
Some people are looking at the mounted branch. Everyone has their individual biases. You may have members in that detachment.
Yes.
You may have been in one of them previously,
yes.
or hoping to get into that company where the air is rare. But at the same time, we're just looking at, they're going to be doing that now, and we see them actually assuming close order. Yes.
From here, you would hear eyes front, because right now they're taking up their dressing.
So we're just waiting for that command to be barked out.
That is correct. Saw it? So what would have happened just now is that the colors would have, even though persons would have turned to the right, the colors must remain at a certain posture every single time. So the drill for that is 8-1-8 steps back, 8 steps forward.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So, and we're
you
off.
are about to witness the march past of the troops and colors.
So while witnessing the march past, what order, because we're looking at ceremonial protocol,
Yes.
what is the order of the march past? In terms of like who goes first?
Also, you see the number 1 detachment, which will be from the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. Number 2 will be also from the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment, but this will be a women detachment. But you're also going to see the colors now, right behind the number 1 detachment. Then you'll see the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard as they're coming into screen now, followed by the Air Guard, by the reserves, and then the TTPS. And we want to remind the viewing that this is the armed contingent. So they carry arms at the shoulder.
So the public has been invited to stand for the
Yes.
march past of the
Yes,
colors. So
we
speak
are
to me a little
required
bit.
to stand as well, but I'll give you the understanding of the colors. The colors is something that is consecrated and serious to the actual military. It signifies the strength. It signifies even in the heat of battle previously, the colors would determine where the battle would be going. And even to capture a flag, I know that you see if you're playing
Paintball
paintball,
and these
yeah,
sorts of
capture
things.
the flag. That in of itself was a disgrace in the past. So you always treat the colors with a sense of superiority, with a sense of care. There's no way that the colors must touch the ground unless the national anthem is playing and Her Excellency is in space.
And it's interesting sometimes some of the things that bleed from military life into civilian life. So when you hear people talking about don't drag the flag,
Yes.
yes. So there's a level of intent, but at the same time, that is a very serious statement.
It is. It is. Again, I believe the word for today is back to protocol. If we look at not dragging the flag, it means that if you take care of this thing, the flag represents something greater than you. It represents the past, it represents the present, and the future. All babies that will be born, all persons that have passed on, all persons that are alive today represent that flag.
And who's now paying their respect to Her Excellency?
Yes, so they're giving her eyes right, and that is their form of respect in drill.
Ladies and gentlemen, the women of the Trinidad
And once again, you would have said these are armed detachments at this point.
Yes.
Following them are the red berets of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force
Reserves.
They are led by Captain R. Richards and Second Lieutenant Samuel Rogers. Ladies and gentlemen, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves. They are followed by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Detachment Commander Assistant Superintendent of Police A. Lovecrest, Second in Command Assistant Superintendent of Police H. Subleo. The Second Detachment of the Police Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Representing the young people of our society, the Trinidad and the Tobago Cadet Force. Detachment Commander Captain Williams, Second in Command, Second Lieutenant Joseph. The color officer is Lieutenant D. Jackson. The second detachment representing the Naval and Aviation Arms of the Cadet Force, Pilot Officer R. Maxwell and Sub-Lieutenant J. Leacock. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Trinidad and Tobago Cadet Force.
The cadet force is the future.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. I'm saying, and I'm not describing it as a changing of the guard,
Yeah.
but showing a progression of where we are and who are some of the people who are going
Yes.
to fill the ranks.
What
As we
this
move
is,
forward. On
I can
horseback,
describe it as a generator.
The parade
It
adjutant
continues to
before you,
provide
squadron
life
leader
and
duty.
energy to the organization.
And that's one of the reasons I think it's important that we even have the scout movement
Yes.
being a part of it, because they get an idea of some of the things that go into what it is they may want to
Yes.
achieve a little later in life. The Milat is also always a fan favorite.
It is.
The second detachment is led by active fire station officer.
Right, so what we are seeing now is the beginning of the unarmed contingent. It's being led by the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service.
So it seems we have some fans for the fire service right behind
That is
us.
correct.
They are led by the Trinidad and Tobago. They are followed, by the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service, Detachment Commander, Superintendent of Prisons, D. Modest, Second in Command, Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, R.L. Walcott. The color officer is Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, L. Charles. Second detachment is led by Superintendent of Prisons, B. Mitchell, and second in command is Assistant Superintendent, L. Patrick. Ladies and gentlemen, the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. They are followed by a detachment of the Trinidad and Tobago Special Reserve Police, Detachment Commander, Assistant Superintendent of Police, I. Edwards, and second in command is Inspector Eugene Todd. They are followed by the Trinidad and Tobago Municipal Police. They are led by Assistant Superintendent A. Harry Prasad and Inspector K. Garcia. First time on parade, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Paramilitary Youth Club.
So this is one of the first that I was
Police
looking at.
Cadet Commandant
Looking
J.
forward to
Ramsey,
today.
Right.
and second in command Assistant Police Cadet J. V. Ramsey.
Once again, that was the TTPS Paramilitary Youth Club that you would have seen.
Yes.
With in blue tops and white bottoms.
Ladies and gentlemen, the military-led academic training program, MILAT, Detachment Commander Sergeant Jack 2IC Petty Officer B. Strong. Ladies and gentlemen, the MILAT program.
So,
Ladies and gentlemen, the St. John's Ambulance Brigade, led by District Staff Officer A. Wilson and Divisional Officer, second in command, J. Rollox Gordon. They are closely followed in their red tunics by the Trinidad and Tobago Red Cross Society, led by Assistant Commander T. Graves and second in command, Assistant Commander S. Marshall. Ladies and gentlemen, the Scout Association of Trinidad and Tobago, led by Scout Leader K. Domain, the second in command Unit Leader C. Bash. Ladies and gentlemen, the Scout Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And bringing up the rear, the Pentecostal Crusaders, Detachment Commander Commissioner K. Alfred, and second in command, R. Lord, Commissioner R. Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, A loud, lusty round of applause for all the detachments out here today on today's parade.
Right, so what we're seeing on TV, DK, is the K9 unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. They're about to execute a display on a march past.
And you would have spoken about drilling and rehearsals, and
Yes.
you'd have given us some of the gleanings from the drill manual. But even looking at the service
As we
animals
celebrate our nation's
and the
independence,
level
we are
of
honored to
training
showcase one of the
investment
most
that will go
dedicated
into
teams
them,
of serving
Yes.
our
the
community.
way that
The Trinidad
horses
and Tobago K9 unit
the
of the
steeds
police
would
service,
be able
led by
to
Sergeant
withstand
Batiste.
the
These
sound
highly
of
trained dogs,
explosions
along with their
without-
dedicated handlers, exemplify
without
discipline,
being that
loyalty,
level
and
of shy
bravery,
or
and play a
trying
crucial
to throw
role.
their riders.
Yes.
It speaks to the level of work that has gone in.
That is
Ladies
correct.
and gentlemen, put your hands together for the K9 unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
So if you look just a little forward of the grouping, entire grouping, we'd see that there was one officer with his K9 companion.
Executing some fine drills. This seems to be a crowd favorite.
It usually is. And this even speaks to the level of not just work on individuals and their animal companions, but the level of trust between individuals. So
Yes.
like one person and one K9.
Yes. I'm about to present their hand salute to Her Excellency.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to direct your attention to the western side, your left side of the parade square, where you would witness the fly past conducted by the Trinidad and Tobago's Air Guards C-26 Metroliner aircraft, crewed by Captain Roger Yishong and co-pilot Squadron Leader Mulzak. This versatile aircraft has an endurance of 4 hours and a cruising speed of 220 knots. The aircraft will be followed by helicopters from the National Helicopter Service,
What we can see here with the display of the K9 unit followed by the fly pass, I believe this is an excellent display of our nation's capabilities, because the K9 unit helps TTPS and the officers execute their duties on a daily basis, and the assets that will be displayed also do the same to cause Trinidad and Tobago to execute their duties effectively.
And I think participants and spectators on hand, they're looking forward to see. And here we have the first one.
That is C-26.
I think there's always this air of anticipation. Can I see it? Can I see it? What is coming now? Especially if you're not quite up around with the the sequence of the fly past.
Yes.
Because even though we're expecting it, because we're told by the house announcer, we're still looking to see.
Yes. Here we have the rotary wing. What we call rotary wing, what we call helicopters.
And you spoke about having a display of assets, but it also shows the level of communication in order to be able to have this display with the level of efficiency that we're working towards.
Totally agree with you.
I'm listening, waiting for the raw appreciation from the crowd as the rotary wing assets come into view, as opposed to just being able to hear them.
Yes.
We are not disappointed.
Parade commander will now bring the parade to attention and dress the parade in open order.
And even if you're the layest of the layman, or the layest of the lay person, we can just say, okay, well, it's the opposite of close order.
Yeah, that is correct.
But yes, we got open order, but at the same time, are they will they advance in a slightly different way than they would have done before?
No.
So we see that dressing. So we see that move taking place. I believe there's going to be another presidential salute.
Well, that happens after the drive past. And once the advance in review order happens, it signifies the winding down of the parade. I remember as a second lieutenant, when you hear advance in review order, you always know that you have 14 paces to move forward, then pay another compliment on a presidential salute. And you always remember when you're on the line as the officer, you have to remember, you keep counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you reach the 14 and you say 1, 2. Once you reach that 14, 1, 2, you know, okay, I got it correctly. I perform my drill to the best that I can.
And even these are some of the things that interest me as well. So how do you keep that internal
Yes.
clock, but doing it as a part of a unit?
So that's why, that's why you always have a drummer. And the drummer, once you hear the banging of the sound, the dum, that actually signifies a left foot, the strike of a left foot. So when you hear the music playing, you also listen for the drums. So the drum is to keep you in time. And that's why, again, in the drill manual, it says that drill, it fosters teamwork. Because you have to trust the drummer, trust what you've been taught, and then execute it.
So yes, there is room for thought, but at the same time, that thought has been so encased in action. There's no time lost from one to the other.
No.
I think in sharing some state secrets, Lieutenant, you have my mind now processing what is left. Listening to the drummer.
Right. So from the time you start, you know that it's the left foot. Right. So it takes time to get to understand it, because I didn't get it that the first time when I was told. But who knows, DK, next year you may you may want to go out there and volunteer.
I'll smile. We're looking at another display of assets right now.
Yes. So these vehicles, they're normally called the dispatch riders. So they carry any type of information, confidential documents from one place to another. That's another part of our assets. This is currently the mechanical transport officer.
You talk about transport. I'm wondering, where will some of these assets be deployed? It's the first time I'm seeing like this big.
Right, so these assets are mainly support unit assets. So this is a fuel tanker. It will provide, in the case of an emergency, fuel to anything that needs fuel. And it's forward of the operating base where we're launching from. What we're seeing now, this Hyundai, this is also an engineering asset that will be used if we need to dig a trench, repair something. All these things are support of higher command's intent. And once we get a command to do something or to execute a task, it's good to have the assets, because it makes it a lot easier for soldiers or sailors to conduct their duties a lot easier once you have the support of these equipment that we have.
And like you would have spoken to before, part of it, yes, is the asset itself, but part of it is also the knowledge that there are so many parts of the whole working together to make it work. So in the same way you would have spoken about getting subsistence or victuals to members of the team on time, knowing that, okay, this is coming and it's going to be on time to allow me to execute my duties in the way that I need to. So all are parts of the whole, and the sum of parts are bigger than, well, the collection is bigger than the sum of its parts.
That is correct.
The units of the Trinidad and Tobago
And this is also, it shows, it's a celebration of what we have so that what we can actually do. I mean, we need to continue to make sure that we have these assets to execute our duties effectively and to have them at a working standard.
And as we see a further display of the assets of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, we are going to be seeing some figures that we may be a little more familiar with on a day-to-day basis.
Yes. When you think about it, these assets save lives. You know, they preserve life. The mere fact that if there's a call that we have vehicles to attend to a need, even when we see the fire service coming up shortly, these things save lives. So a celebration of this is warranted on the day.
Anyone say fire? Ladies and gentlemen, the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service.
And I think even, so we just
The military transport of officers
within
21773
rigors of ceremonial protocol, the opportunity for a little levity
Yes.
and local context, so contextualizing what it is we're dealing with.
Yes.
We just heard Mr. Ian Alvarez being intoned upon the arrival of the display of the assets of the fire services.
Yes.
The fire service always captures a special appeal, particularly among the young of our midst. And the musical marching band fire service has grown from strength to strength, especially as it relates to consistent high quality and wide-ranging renditions on and off the parade square. Well done to the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service band.
One of the things I appreciate about days like this is it offers the opportunity to show appreciation and say thanks. Sometimes in the day-to-day running of operations, we may tend to forget that we are seeing individuals who put life and service or their service before their own lives in defense of our country.
Yes.
Many people see fire and run away because that is the sensible thing to do.
Yes.
So there's this level of service to men and women to be able to go towards
Yes.
this potentially life-threatening situation to be able to. So in an occasion like this where there's a ceremonial protocol and people are dressed and displaying their finest threads, there's the opportunity to just say thanks. So I guess that's one of the reasons that people come out.
That is
And some people even prefer to be on the road where they can be a little closer than on the parade ground itself.
Yes, that is very true.
I think this is one of the vehicles that we were talking about.
Officers service colleagues have always been very keen and enthusiastic to the parade. And the music band is a large measure responsible for this. Well done to the prison service. staged military tattoos on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of independence. Military tattoo was staged at the His Crawford Stadium, involving overseas armed forces. And citizens, if you recall, were particularly captivated by the Scottish bagpipe majors in their native kilt. And in the year 2002, when we attained the 40th anniversary of independence, another military tattoo display of skills and drills was well received, especially the band of Her Majesty Royal Marines and the Barbados Defense Force band, the latter dressed in their colorful Zouave ceremonial uniforms.
Riding into position on your left is the mounted branch of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, about to do a display.
So this is something that we look forward to as well.
Yes.
Combine the skill of man and equine companion.
The mounted branch of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has its primary role in the prevention and detection of crimes similar to the various arms of the service. They are also entrusted with the responsibility of providing Excellency the President with a full mounted escort to and from the parade ground, and then back to Her Excellency's official residence. Ladies and gentlemen, the mounted branch of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
You heard earlier that Assistant Superintendent of Police Renee Bean Keller is the first female to head the mounted presidential escort. This is an ideal opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to wish the Women Police Branch of the service a happy 69th anniversary. To the Women Police Branch of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Second in command is Sergeant Philip. His horse is Hercules. The other riders are Acting Sergeant Gelino, PC Ramsamy, WPC Joseph, WPC Blake, PC Lewis, PC Thomas. The standard bearer is Acting Sergeant Marcel. The trumpeter is Corporal Pavi. Second division is PC Daniel and PC Thomas Hannah.
And once again, in this series of firsts that we're experiencing today,
Yes.
looking at the fact that we have the woman acting Assistant Superintendent of Police, R.B. Keller,
Yes.
at the helm of this grouping.
Mounted branch, yeah.
And it seems as though even the horses have a sense of pomp. I think sometimes we look and say, well, given the opportunity, I could do that.
I'm telling you,
If you do, I applaud the ambition. But even something as quote-unquote simple as being able to ride and be erect in the saddle while holding land.
yes. That is not an easy thing at all. I'm not sure if the viewing or persons online would have heard a bit of history about the mounted branch. Very quickly, it was a vital component of the police force, originally tasked with delivery of mail, and as our nation evolved, so did the role of the distinguished unit. In this capacity, the mounted branch proved that a single officer on horseback could effectively manage a crowd with great efficiency than 10 officers on foot, a testament to their unparalleled skill and versatility.
Some of that skill which will be on display this morning.
In the good old days, performance of the mounted escort has been referred to as the shot pass and the reverse wedge shot pass. And on each occasion, we see the police mounted branch on parade. We must go down memory lane. Think about those stalwarts who would have passed through the police mounted branch, who would have trained generations of police officers, defense force officers, civilian personnel, the art of horsemanship. The likes of Superintendent Ralph Elcock and Yearwood and others. Superintendent Cordelia. Those gentlemen made a name for themselves at the police mounted branch, carrying out their duties diligently throughout those 62 years.
So we've had a march past, fly past.
This is
Please
the
stand for the
counting
advance
here.
of the new order. Please stand
And I'm listening for the
There we go. 14-1-2. Presidential salute. DK, at this time, you'll be hearing the 21 gun salute.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing until Her Excellency and the principal office holders have departed for parade.
And you talk about volunteering possibly next year, and I am looking at the work that has gone into the steeds, equine companions of the mounted branch, and the
Yes.
fact that they are under control while those explosions are taking place.
Yes.
And I am blinking until I locate the source and say, okay, I'm going to hear that sound momentarily.
Yes.
So it speaks to the level of discipline, training, and once again, investment into assets,
Yeah.
Mounted
all
escort
for
will
the
ride
service of the Republic of
into
Trinidad and
position
Tobago.
Yeah, agree with
to
you.
escort Her Excellency.
This is something that we can be proud of.
So we would have just seen
Ladies
the
and gentlemen, a lusty round of applause for the departure of Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces.
Off of the parade ground by the members of the mounted escort.
Yes, mounted branch. And then everything, just as in review order, the departure of the First Gentleman, followed by the Honorable Prime Minister, followed by the Honorable Chief Justice, so, and then the Minister of National Security.
And then we have the march off.
Yes, this is where people would say this is the highlight of their day.
So this shot where we have outriders, we have the vehicular assets, mounted escort, and the High Excellency, the President, making her way off. And we are getting ready for the departure in reverse order as would have been outlined by you, Lieutenant.
Yeah.
You spoke about unfurling and what it means with Her Excellency the President. So the Her Excellency has left the parade ground.
Right.
And as such, we're seeing...
Her ensign, yes, is now being cased. And because she has left the space, and as I said before, the space as in the area, so there's no need to have it up, so they bring it down.
So the next time we have the shot of the two flagpoles, we will see once more the flag of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Will be the only one that is flying.
That is correct.
The other flagpoles
Yes.
will be without that ensign.
Please remain standing as we await the departure of His Excellency.
So we are about to witness the departure of the First Gentleman
of
the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Kerwin Garcia, SC.
And yes, we're seeing the Minister of National Security,
Yes.
but he's also, First Gentleman is also escorted by a Chief of Protocol to get into his awaiting vehicle. And on your screen, you can see the Prime Minister and Mrs. Rowley. They've been given that invitation to get to their awaiting vehicle.
Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, Mrs. Sharon Rowley.
Once again, following strict order and protocol of the day. We see the Chief Justice and Mrs. Denise Rodriguez Archie about to depart.
Ladies and gentlemen, we announce the departure of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Justice Ivor Archie and Mrs. Archie.
And for some, the natural inclination may be, okay, well, it's winding down, I can start to relax. But I don't think that is the situation here. The main thing is the main thing, and you see it through till it is finished.
No, we don't relax until the parade is dismissed. We have a job to execute, and at the end of the day, all persons on parade, and even those on the route march, and those who have different tasks throughout the day, we don't end until it's completely done. And you hear, dismiss, and everyone gets to go back home, because you're always being looked at. The world is always watching. So if there's a lapse in judgment, at any point in time, it can spoil the entire day. Again, back to protocol.
Mm-hmm. And once again, applicable in so many
Ladies and
other
gentlemen,
facets
now
of life.
announce the departure of the
Someone running through the tape
Honorable
on
Minister of
a
National
race,
Security,
Yes.
crossing the finish line. You're on
Mr.
stage,
Fitzgerald Hines,
and you come out of
MP,
character when
and
you're
Mrs.
off
Margaret
the
Hines.
stage itself. No one else can see you. Then you come back to yourself or your normal sensibilities.
Couldn't agree more. That is very true.
Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen.
Once again, I feel the need to remark on this bipartisan display that we're seeing that feels very national and patriotic at this point in time. And
You also
like
have-
that, we have someone in the shot.
Second,
And like that, we had someone in the
Yes.
shot. But we also have, you were saying, sorry?
you also have members of the diplomatic corps who are present, which is also a representation of international relations at its finest. The mere fact that visitors and representatives of different countries attend this parade in of itself to mark our independence and the anniversary of our independence is something that I can't underscore how wonderful it is to see persons coming
Ladies
to
and
pay their
gentlemen,
respects
you're
in this
invited
form.
to remain where you are.
Because you see, as you're saying that, I'm seeing representatives from Japan, the EU,
Yes.
and others in attendance to just underscore the words that you have been
Yes.
espousing at this point in time.
Splitting up to form themselves in front of the
And we've had
attachments.
recently, we've had other notable dignitaries. One of them being the Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Yes.
But we have a right turn.
Oh, that is correct, yes. And then the eight paces back, 8 paces forward for the colors.
See some time being marked, even though we're not hearing the drums at this point in time.
Right.
And it's these subtle nuances that sometimes you may miss.
Yes.
But people have worked hard and drilled towards.
So if you can hear that,
Tick, 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 tick.
that's left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
Yes, you're hearing it now.
back to the year 1963, and the prospect, first from my master's training in the UK, made a proposition that all the lovers of Kitchener called the road. This is the first episode in March 1963, and there was no
As you can see the smiles on your faces.
Because they're looking. It's their time to shine
That
now.
is correct. And just being the end of something is better than the beginning. Just being coming to the end of it, very close to the end, you can feel that sense of I did it.
But as you said, it's not finished until it is finished.
That
now.
is-
It's closer, but it's not quite there yet. But I even appreciate listening to the articulation of music that helps to represent us in a slightly different
Yes.
instrumentation.
Yes. Here we go.
So we take that in now.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed 60-second Independence Day parade. You have been listening to the dramatic counties. You have been a part of the audience. Please get the respect of the Happy Independence to you all. Parade is being led by the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment Band.
So we have the armed contingent. This is from the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment.
Direction, that's the Trinidad and Tobago
Followed
Regiment
by
Band.
the colors.
Service band.
An event that is the magnitude of
Just as they came on, they are coming off.
has always been a collaborative effort involving several government ministries and departments. It has brought together the best minds, led by stakeholders from the office of the President, the office of the Prime Minister.
Maybe one of the things that I look at, and not necessarily, I don't think it's my fancied imagining, but the slight nuances, the slight distinction in marching styles between groupings is one of the things I look at as well. But and when I say groupings, I mean like and groupings that we can see in different uniforms as well.
Yes.
Because we also have the way that they do it as a unit together.
Yes.
But slightly different from another grouping that would be before or behind them.
I can see what you're saying.
For the success of Independence Day parade.
And you see different detachments continuing to march off. Still part of the armed contingent though.
Yes, we are. On your screen, you're seeing the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard, followed by the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves, who is followed by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. them pictures of the unarmed detachment and contingent. This is the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service.
1965, so portrait of Trinidad, the plane, 160 years out. Well done.
Yes, we know this is the unarmed contingent now, but who are we seeing represented?
This is the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, followed by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. No, that is, I stand corrected, that is the prison service.
And once again, we have, I don't necessarily want to call them first-timers, but very happy to see the TTPS Paramilitary Youth Club.
Yes.
Actually coming onto the screen now.
Followed by number 19 detachment, the traffic wardens.
After that grouping, we have number 20 detachment officers of the military-led academic training program. Always happy to see those young men represent.
Yes, so am I.
Members of the Civilian Conservation Corps. They just would have crossed the screen in khaki and yellow.
Okay.
So we had
Right, so yes, we're now seeing the Trinidad and Tobago Scouts Association, and then on screen, the Pentecostal Crusaders.
some people might argue that they should be in the armed contingent.
You know, I just caught it. Oh, good one. Good one.
So we've seen the armed and unarmed contingent make their way off of the parade ground. We're going to see the assets,
To my knowledge,
or do they wait?
I think they wait, I'm not sure. I'm not seeing that
But I think the
seeing that
crowd.
they're being held up.
I think the crowd is giving us an idea of what the proceedings will look like because they are vacating the grandstand.
Yes. And from here, beyond the route march, there's something else that we normally do, which is called Toast to the Nation. So a group of persons will be going across to Napa for the Toast to the Nation, where Her Excellency will give a toast to the nation, and others will be on the route march. So we're not finished just yet.
But at the same time, I think we can start to say our thank yous in the sense that so for everyone who has not been here physically but has been taking in the sequence of events as per this live broadcast, we say thank you very much, whatever part of the world you are in, because yes, we're seeing people in Trinidad and Tobago as well as those further afield. We thank you so much for being a part of this live broadcast commemorating the 62nd Independence Day of Trinidad and Tobago.
That is
and
correct.
it was a pleasure doing it with you, Lieutenant Eastmond.
It was a pleasure as well. It was my pleasure as well.
And on behalf of the entire crew of TTT Limited, we want to thank you for being a part of this program. And once again, happy independence. Thank you for tuning in.
Take a picture with me. I have a woman inside here. She's a woman. I think a woman. Boss himself. Sun hot.
When we brain sun in the face, taking a while to watch no face. I hope I mightn't be out of place. Coffee, bucket the right place.
of man.